I want us to take religion as kind of like a social embodiment of whatever the collective thinking is, right? Like, according to the philosophy of organ projection, technology is just part of the human flesh being spat out, right? So we're gonna look at one specific kind of technology, which is religion, and not really religion, but gods. Let's take the Abrahamic God, the Yahweh, or whatever you wanna call him. When he was saving his people from Egypt, what did he do to the Egyptians? He just sent 10 plagues, right? Like, that ravaged the land and caused misery to the people. But the question is, why was this effective? When we look at the religions of Kemet, the most interesting god within the pantheon is Maat, right? Because she gave the ethical and social framework that kind of made the kingdom and made the empire, right? Because when the upper and lower kingdoms unified, they needed like that one philosophical framework that will kind of unite these two people, right? Because these two kingdoms were very multicultural, multilingual, very pluralist kingdoms, because they connected the continent of Africa to the Silk Road and whatever was happening up north, right? The kingdom became this diverse, multi-regional population that kind of needed that shared moral language, right? And Maat became the god who provided that. So let's look at her. What was she saying? What was her embodiments? And what was really... Maat is one of the oldest humanities ethical and like cosmological frameworks. It's about started in Egypt, like the ancient Egypt, around the 3100 CE. So maybe what is that, 5,000-6,000 years ago. So it's a very old framework, but you can kind of still trace it to the current frameworks we use. But I digress. You guys remember that scene from Moon Knight, right? It's called Moon Knight, where they weigh your soul with a feather.
You will spend eternity in paradise, the field of reeds. But before we get there, I've just got to do a quick little... Oh, goody! It worked! Look at that!
What's she doing? Oh, she's weighing our hearts on the scales of justice. See, the ancient Egyptians believed that the heart was the sign of who you really were in life. The scales balanced. By the time you end the journey, then a soul is permitted to pass into the field of reeds. If you don't balance,
you get thrown overboard. Whee! The dead will drag you down into the duat, where you will remain forever. Isn't it sad? No unbalanced souls on my boat. Fingers crossed for you guys, hey?
It's one of the traditions of ancient Egypt that became mainstream. Like, yeah, all of your life and all of the work of your hands are weighed to a feather. And so this feather, this very important part of that equation of life, is part of Maat. Like, it's the feather that is on top of her. If you see the image here, yeah, that feather. And you can see how important this god is if she is the one who provides the feather that, you know, judges you and judges how you lived. Maat and the principles of Maat followed like seven main pillars, right? You had truth, where you have to always live in alignment with reality. We have justice, which is, you know, everybody within the society is required to be treated fairly. That's pretty much what justice means. And then there's harmony, living in balance with the natural life. I mean, nature did not really exist back then, but like, you get what I mean, living in balance with whatever else is. And then we have actual balance, which is the unity and harmony between the individual and society, the individual and the community, right? The give and take that makes you human. And of course, I mean, I just said it's a kingdom kind of making itself up. So there's need for order, you know, there's need for structure, there's need for hierarchy, and there's need for governance. So, and then the other ones are propriety and reciprocity. Propriety meaning just having a right conduct in every context, in every relation. And reciprocity, you know, you always get what you give. What law of Newton is that? The third? This is an action to a reaction. But yeah, all of this, you know, this was what Maat was teaching. And you can see how this relational logic within this system like just spans kind of the entirety of everything, right? Because it looks at the individual and their relationship to the community, and the community's relationship to the individual, and both of those two things in relationship to the reality. So it was a very relational framework, a very relational type of philosophy. And at the top, the king, the man who kind of was the glue of the kingdom, he became the foundational and philosophical anchor of this framework. This made Maat inherently political, inherently social, and, you know, not just an individual personal framework to live. So when like the leader failed to uphold these frameworks, he was considered out of order. Like he was going against the cosmic mandate, which meant like the people had the power and the authority of the universe to, you know, get him out. That's why the Pharaoh had to like let Moses go, because whatever Moses and his God was doing, it was affecting the people and the way of life of the people, causing a cosmic disorder within the kingdom itself. That's why that story is so powerful, because in all of the lenses you can see how religion is being the main anchor of the change. And you can see why ancient Egypt became the biggest civilization Earth has ever seen, because they rooted their social structure in this kind of philosophy. Like the philosophical framework of the people ensured that social justice was awarded to everybody. The poor, the sick, the widows, the homeless, all of them were part of the same unit, part of the same social structure, part of the same cosmic order. Like Maat encoded accountability itself as, you know, part of the cosmic order. It's not something like a social mechanism to keep people you know, on the right path. No, it's something you live by. It's your life. It's the universe. Like there's this famous saying like the body remembers and the body keeps score, but like these guys took it to the next level. Like they extended that framework to the whole universe and just said everything is relational and the universe itself keeps scores. Within its foundations, you can see that humans exist like in obligation to themselves, in obligation to others, in obligation to the community, and in obligation to, you know, the cosmic order, to the universe itself. 6,000 years ago, people are already saying like existence is relational, existence is a web of connections. And eventually when these ideas went north to Greek and eventually to the West, you can see them kind of prop up, like with Aristotle and his man is a social animal, you know, what was this other guy? Hegelian philosophy. Everything is dialectics, everything is relational. All of that has like a root in this Egyptian philosophical framework, right? It's actually pretty nice to see ideas evolve and grow. Why am I telling you this? Why am I talking about a god that has been dead for 4,000 years? That is because of this essay that I read. We have talked about Anscap's philosophy of technology, right? That technology is just organ projection, it's just the body spitting itself out. So Jason Silver draws from that philosophical root when he argues that in this essay Jason Silver talks about oh my god, fucking I hate vehicles, I hate cars, man. Electrify your shit, bro. Okay, Jason Silver argues in this essay that AI is bringing a new mode of thinking. It's bringing a new way of understanding or like processing information because not because he said books and the printing press gave us like this sequential way of thinking, which is, you know, the way you read is the way you think. At least that's what I got from what he was saying. But now AI, since it's just an accumulation of all of these different ideas, it's bringing a different mode of thinking, which is more relational. Like you now start relating concepts between different fields. It's all about intersectionality here. So I want to add to that argument. I'm actually gonna argue that right now AI is just the brain spitting itself out, right? And the form it's taking is just the root form of the brain, the human brain, which means AI, since AI is thinking relationally, humans are intrinsically thinking relationally. Intrinsically, that word.
Intrinsically. Intrinsically.
Like, who are you? Because you have like this accumulation of past experiences that kind of make you, right? And it's how those things relate to each other that fully defines who you are. At least that's how I say it, right? You cannot you cannot escape from your past, because your past literally is you. It makes you. And that is exactly how humans think and exist in this world. We do not exist in isolation. We are always like in relation to something and someone else. And not just humans, everything else. Take for example, this hammock, right? It's knitted. I think this is knitting. Yeah, it's knitted. Knitting itself is a rabbit hole you can get into and see how like it shaped humanity. But this hammock is in the shape of a chair, right? That is also a rabbit hole you can go into to see how chairs have affected the way we think. Like there's this other beautiful reading, I'll put it somewhere here, which just talks about how different forms of chairs have affected how we see the world. So that is, I think, what the essay was trying to say, maybe. But what I am trying to say is AI is thinking this way, or introducing this new mode of thinking, which is like relational, because this mode of thinking is the foundation. It's the root of humanity. Ubuntu, I am because you are. Bantu philosophy, this kemet mat philosophy, all of these have like the same intrinsic root, which is the idea that everything is relational. I don't think I have anything else to say.
روح يا قلبي روح